Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. It is, the time has changed for some of you. Good morning, Andrea. So, whatever time it is for you, wherever you are in the world, we are here right now together. So, good morning from Mexico. And how is everybody doing today? You can give an emoji in the chat or a word if you'd like. I'm happy to be here back up outside with you all. So if you don't know, I am in Mexico. And really grateful to be here, grateful to be in this life where I am living here and getting to join you all live. And yeah, that we get to do this today. Good morning, Kat. It's hard for me to see the screen because it's really bright and the sun is coming in, so everything, I guess, looks and sounds good so far. So this morning there's tons, as is every morning, tons of bird song. I don't know what all you all can hear. And it's a very special day today, so I'm really happy to be able to join because it is Day of the Dead, which, you know, I guess it's everywhere if you choose to celebrate it. And here in Mexico, you know, it's an amazing holiday to be here for and be able to be a part of. There's somebody drumming nearby on the lake that I live on. I imagine it's for Day of the Dead. So it's a nice energy to our morning session. And I was just reading something online about an energy shift that happened in the last, like yesterday. So I'm curious if anybody here had that experience, if you noticed an energy shift. Yeah, it was saying there might be sadness and disorientation. And so for those who don't know, Kat, thanks for asking, Day of the Dead, and I'm probably going to botch it, and if anybody else can give a better explanation, I imagine there may be at least one member here who could probably know about Day of the Dead better than me. Hi, J.E., good morning. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know the origins. I don't know a ton about it. It's an honoring of the dead. So just speaking, you know, as an expat living in Mexico and experiencing this from the outside and knowing the little bit that I know, families have set up altars everywhere, and they have pictures of their past loved ones, they also will put food that they liked out, or things that they liked, or some of their, possessions, candles. So they put marigold flowers out, and make these altars. They even have it for pets. There was a day for pets last week. And so yesterday was Day of the Dead for people under 18 who had passed. And they call it like the angels. And then today is the official day for everybody and anybody. So some of you may know I had a stillborn baby. So yesterday I went to the cemetery. I brought a candle. I don't have a photo because this was I do have a photo somewhere in the US at home. But, you can bring a photo, have a candle, flowers. And of course, if you're from this area, then you would have a family plot in the cemetery. So I just went following my heart with the intention to, just put the candle out wherever. And, honestly, I felt surprised at how sad I was about his death and, his lack of life, or his short life. And so it was interesting because it's been a very long time. Just that I saw the thing about some big energy shift happening yesterday, and it was like people would be sad. And I was. I think, is there a bug on my face or on my glasses? Okay. Because I didn't know there was 2 separate days, and I didn't know there was, for babies and children or younger people. And so the minute I heard that, I was like, oh, I'm going to honor, my son. And it was really special, and it was really interesting because I walked in the back of the cemetery, and part of me wanted to walk straight, and then I felt this intuitive nudge to go a different way. And I'm like, I'm just going to follow wherever my soul takes me. And I ended up walking by somebody that I know in their family grave area, and he invited me to come in and sit down, and then I told him about my situation, and he invited me to put the candle out with in his family site. So it was really nice to honor that. So today is the general day, where everybody dresses up, puts on, this face painting. Well, they have been the past few days, like the skull painting and all that. People do it on Halloween and yesterday. And then there was also a parade. It was so cute, of children in the face painting, and they were dressed as angels. It was like kids and, teenagers. And so they walked through the town. So it was like to remember those that had passed. And some of the altars that I saw, had kids, and I mean, whatever, there's life and death regardless. And to see, some of the young children, babies and things who had passed, it's it was sad. So yeah, good morning, Wendy. Haven't seen you in a little while. Glad to see you. yeah, so today there will be big celebrations, so I'm looking forward to all of that. So, we can bring that energy into our live stream today. We can bring in, this is coming up for a reason, so I always honor whatever that might be for people. So, if there's ancestors or loved ones on your heart, and I will do the ancestral clearing. So, we can just have the intention to have those people near and dear to us that have passed to be here. I mean, they're always here, right? And more intentionally, I would say. So, if you are new to me, don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer. I'm also double live streaming this on my YouTube channel. You can follow me there. That would be great, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and check my website. I am doing a live stream. Let me put up my follow button for a moment if you don't follow and you'd like to. So Tuesday I will be doing this live stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday. What are you tolerating? So I'm really excited about that. That's one of my favorite questions to ask people in my coaching sessions, because it really gets down into the nitty-gritty. So make sure to RSVP to that if you would like to. And it also helps me, even if you don't know if you're going, it helps boost me in Insight Timer. Any interactions or any sharing or any way that you interact with me, if you listen to my meditations or anything like that. So I really appreciate the support. And I'm only a few followers away from, I think, 4,500, so that's a great milestone. So appreciate all of you who have been here, for a long time, or if it's your first time, you're all very welcome. So, let's see. Awesome, Cat. So we're going to go ahead and start with our cards. So this is going to be a collective card reading. And we're going to start with Michael Singer, author of these amazing books. And it's November now, so it was a year ago this month that I got to meet Michael Singer in person, and where I got these cards. And actually, it's now I'm remembering a year ago today that I left Asia. I left Bali and traveled back to the US, where I hadn't been in 6 years. So, yeah, I left on November 2nd and I arrived on November 3rd or 4th, because that's the way things go. So yeah, I've been back a full year now. So let's see what Michael Singer has to say for everyone this morning. That which is blocked and buried within you forms the root of fear. Fear is caused by blockages in your energy. That which is blocked and buried within you forms the root of fear. Fear is caused by blockages in your energy. So, his whole teaching is about allowing the blocked energies to move through us, and how to do that, and what to practice with, and and so it's interesting that he says that those blockages are fear, or what creates fear. So we'll continue with doing Sacred Rebels. And I love this image on the back of the card. It's on the cover as well, as you saw. You know, I like to look at this as in two ways. One is like the ancestral lineage. So, you know, this is like present now self, and then, you know, the older ancestors, and then the younger. Or I also like to look at it as like, this is us now. This is our inner wisdom, our higher self, and this is our inner child. So. All right. Let's see what messages we have for everybody. If you're just joining in, this is a collective reading. So trust that you're finding this at the right time for you. Okay, I love this card, Diving for Light. Diving for light. And then on the back of the deck, Going Beyond Normal. Both of those seem to be related and connected, and even the images share similarities. That's what I'm picking up on. So to me, this is even referencing the Michael Singer card about, you know, fear. The root of fear is the blockages of energy inside of us. When we dive internally and go inside of ourselves, that is where we find the light and where our freedom lies. You know, it reminds me of shadow work, which is something that, you know, I do in my ancestral clearing sessions. You know, we can't have the light without the shadow, so we need to have both. And within the shadow, within the darkness, is the light. So we don't want to shun that. We don't want to ignore it. We don't want to push it away or not face it, because we all have shadow inside of us. It's not something to be afraid of. And we can even look at that as the blocked energy within. And so, you know, we need to feel it to heal it. We need to acknowledge it and witness it. And if you are ready to heal and do this deep work, then you can dive into that. You know, Michael Singer says you don't have to actually consciously go in and do that. I mean, you can, but he says life will constantly give you things that you can work with and free yourself. You know, when the world upsets you, then that's your invitation in that moment, whatever that upset is about, for you to do that work of being with the energy that's there, witnessing it as it comes up, so that it can heal. So I want to look at, because there's like an ocean theme here. There's seahorses. So I want to see a little bit more about what this card is talking about as well. Yeah, so it is kind of confirming what I'm saying. It says this card speaks of a time when you're called into darkness through life circumstances, situations, relationship challenges, or inner struggles that defy clear understanding. That darkness might be a creative block, a sense of being in a void, or feelings of depression, rage, sadness, fear, or anxiety. There may or may not be an obvious cause. The darkness might be generally accepted and socially acknowledged because there's a socially acceptable reason for it, such as death, divorce, or retrenchment. However, there may be no obvious justification for your experience of darkness. You might not need a reason to be able to accept it. Likewise, you may struggle to find an unconditional acceptance of your experience. Just know you're actually on track and right where you need to be. So let me know if that lands for you. Give a heart, give an emoji in the chat if that's resonating. So it's validating if you are feeling low in whatever way that might mean. And it's interesting, I brought up the energy yesterday and the sadness of, the loss of my baby. And I was even questioning, why am I so upset about this? It happened forever ago. I don't even really think about it. And I noticed those thoughts coming up. And I just was like, it doesn't matter. The mind wants to intellectualize. It wants to figure things out. It wants to, have an A to B reason for things. And that's just not how life is all the time. So I just did my best to be well, there's grief, there's sadness here. I can just be in acceptance of it. I don't need to intellectualize, analyze. I can just be. Let's see what else this says. So it says you need to be vigilant against the darker forces within you, which could be voices you may not expect. These voices or feelings might surprise you with their intensity. They might be feelings of hate, terror, or of wanting to sleep because everything is just too hard. It might be vicious criticism of yourself, or you might tell yourself your inner creative work is pointless and original, not worth it. It might try to tell you you're on the wrong path or that you're going to fail. So that's your invitation, that you must stay in your heart and not believe these voices. Stay in compassion. Fear creates the energy of anger, hate, and destructiveness. These forces are a part of life. We don't have to be frightened by them, nor do we need to deny their existence or try to ignore them. I said that. We don't want to ignore this. We just get to hold compassion and be aware. It's too easy to get caught up in trying to heal the dark. Darkness just is. All right, so I'm going to repeat the healing process for this card, so you all can just take it in if this is resonating with you, and just have the intention that you want to accept this healing process. I call upon the presence of unconditional love. Be here now without restraint. Fill me and fill this space. Touch all beings with your grace. I feel the presence of unconditional love within me. I acknowledge the presence of unconditional love all around me. I am the presence of unconditional love, and in this love no fear can remain. May unconditional love guide any fear back to the light of love, or back into the earth as serves the greatest good. My body, mind, heart, and soul are now completely bathed in and protected by unconditional love through my own free will. This is so. So just breathe into that energy. All right, so now I'm going to pull a Work Your Light card. Speaking of light, so be it. Amen. Yes, thank you. So I love the Work Your Light Oracle cards because it's all about kind of like helpers and spiritual realms and, you know, other dimensional ideas, ancestral ideas, and things like that. So this card is called Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So I'm imagining, I know I've looked it up before, but I can't remember at this moment what Imrama is. But I'm sure it's a mystical place, or, you know, it's like an Atlantis type place, something like that. But, you know, the message says, where are you being called to journey to? And the, you know, figure on the card is looking across this landscape to journey to. So, you know, the other card in the reading so far talking about going inside, that's what the journey is calling you to, is to look inside for answers. Don't look outside of yourself. I mean, you can, and the answers are within. The light is within. Although you might feel fear, you might feel darkness, you know, sadness, anger, grief, all of those things. Actually, the way out is through, not by avoiding that, not by avoiding going within, but by facing it and using your higher power, source, God, your spiritual team to guide you. And you don't have to do this alone, and also people in your life. So where is your soul calling you to go on the inside? What are you avoiding? What are you tolerating? I want to look up this Imrama and see what it has. And if any of you want these card messages, just send me a message. I can send you the information to these descriptions. So it's a Celtic word. The Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul. So I was wrong. It's not a mythical place. Thank you, Suzanne. We're like, as you wrote it, I said it, so that's really cool. A voyage on which we don't know where we're going, but our soul knows the way. If you pulled this card, you're being called on a soul journey or already on one. It could be to a physical ancient place or metaphoric. So it's a perfect example. My story yesterday about being at the cemetery and just following my soul where it was guiding me to. And that's a very like mini version of the bigger journey that we're all on. But yeah, I followed that impulse, just being open, trusting my soul's intuition, where it was leading me, and it led me to have a beautiful experience. So this card, sometimes these cards have activations and often not. So this one actually has an activation just like the other one had, you know, a healing process. So I'm going to also repeat this one because it feels really relevant. So if you want to intend to receive this as well, just have that intention. You can put your hand on your heart if you would like. May seeds of light long ago planted begin to rise. I am ready to remember ancient secrets from lands that my soul knows from times past. May I be held by the ancient lineages that my soul has served, and remember that I don't have to do it all alone. So be it. So interestingly, sorry. Interestingly, that's what I was just saying, right? Like, utilize your support, your spiritual support. So it says, may I be held by ancient lineages. And remember, I don't have to do it alone. So that's just confirmation of that message for you. Like, I was on a client call with somebody last week, and we were talking about like this idea to do everything alone, or like this impulse or habit to just take care of everything on our own. And that is a trauma response, to just be, you know, overly functioning, not asking for help. So some of you may have that propensity, and so it's really important that you allow yourself to receive help. If it's spiritual help, if it's human help, whatever that might be for you. And now we'll get some further clarification from the Light Seers deck. Yeah, Suzanne, I mean, depending on the person and their particular childhood trauma, that definitely can be a trauma response, especially with children who were neglected, or who had to function as surrogate parents for their siblings or their real parents. You know, not having needs. So children in those particular circumstances learn to not need anything. So then when people grow up, they're just like, I'm doing everything myself, and I'm not going to ask for help. I don't want to bother anybody. I can do it. That resonates, Suzanne. Yeah. And it's good to recognize that's where it comes from. So that, you know, I mean, there's light and dark sides to everything. So it's like, there is positive sides to that, you know, to be able to take care of yourself and do things, and to the extreme, it's detrimental. And it's, you know, a lack of vulnerability. It can be a lack of vulnerability or trust. That sort of a thing. So, yeah. Hello. We see some people joining, saying hello. Nancy, Sister Sunshine, Allie, Tatiana, welcome. Excuse me. So yeah, for those of you who are regulars and know what time I usually go live, the time has changed in the US and Canada, and my time did not change. So that means I am at a different time for everybody. So it depends on where you are, what the difference is, because my time does not change. So we will get some clarification from light seers to see what else is here. Hi Lotus, good morning. It's been a little while. Okay, if y'all have been around, you know I say this often, you can't make this shit up. So the first card is the Six of Pentacles. I mean, and you can just see by looking, even if you know nothing about this card, it is a card of giving and receiving. Ooh, somebody is blowing like a sacred horn right now. I told you there was drumming happening. And for those who are just joining in, it's Day of the Dead here in Mexico where I live. So it's a very special day, and there was some sacred drumming on the lake I could hear as we began, and now I hear like one of those seashell horns that they use. Hello, Jeff. Welcome, Juliana. Welcome. So, and this is a collective reading. If you all are joining in, don't forget to follow me here so you can be notified of my other live streams. You can check out my profile too if you want to connect with me one-on-one. I do everything that I do here with you in the live streams, I do one-on-one. Did you hear it? Awesome. I thought it was so faint that it wouldn't be picked up, so that's cool. It's happening again. So there's a message coming through about your relationship with giving and receiving, and depending on the person, it might be for you that you need to allow yourself to receive more, and it might be, receiving spiritual help and guidance, or physical. I mean, you can see this is the Pentacles, so it's money, it's material things. So the horn is horning, is sounding. Yeah, Jeff, you might have missed my earlier in the live stream. I talked all about that, and I had a very special experience yesterday with the Day of the Dead for babies and children with my own loss of my baby. So I honored him, and today is the official day. So I'm just feeling into the energy of this card. I've never noticed this before. There's like an infinity symbol behind the image, you can see. So when we allow ourselves to receive, we are participating in the cycle of abundance, the cycle of life, the cycle of reciprocity. And some of you get to give. Some of you are holding on too tight to your material resources. So there's an imbalance, and depending on, you might be too much in I give too much. You might be on the other side where you never give, and so there gets to be a balance here. for me, I was always in a space of just taking. I was a taker, and especially in my active addiction, for those of you that know that part of my story, of course, being an alcoholic and drug addict, I was constantly in taking. But even after I got sober for many years, I still was in that energy, not so consciously, but I was. And it wasn't until I discovered service work in the 12-step program in a unique and different way, like 6 years ago, that really changed my life and allowed me to be here with you and become a life coach. You know, I often do gifted complimentary coaching sessions, and I do offer that here to the community. So if anybody here has not had a gifted coaching session with me, please reach out if you feel that inner guidance nudging you that way, and take advantage of that gift. So this happens sometimes, where when I take people through the gifted process that I offer, some people have a problem with receiving. And it's such a wonderful thing to actually dive into in the coaching session, where, like, what is your relationship like with receiving? How comfortable are you just to receive a gift with no strings attached? Can you allow yourself just to receive? I've had more than one person break into tears when we slow down on that and dive into that, because so many of us, especially in the spiritual community, we're very comfortable giving but not receiving. I even have somebody tomorrow that I'm going to be doing this gifted coaching process with. And they live here, and they're like, oh, I'll buy you lunch. And even that, right? It's, and it makes sense. It's normal. And, you know, tomorrow I am going to bring that up and be like, because this is a very giving person, and be like, can you, I invite you just to receive this as a gift. And can you do that? So, that came up. I don't remember specifically, but yeah. So it's really gold to dive into, to allow yourself to be in a space of receiving and see how that feels. And thank you, Allie. Yeah, and definitely in other times in life been called selfish, for sure. Yeah. And that's the power of coaching and the beauty of coaching. It's a really special, sacred place, really intentional to be able to slow down, where, if you're just in, like, quote, normal societal realms, it's like, oh yeah, let me give this for you. Okay, well, yeah, well, I'll do this, I'll give this back, or I'll do this for you. And we're just like, okay, and it's like automatic pilot. So that's, one of the most powerful things about coaching. It's like, can we slow down on this? Can we dive into your relationship with receiving? So, some of you need to hear that. Now, the thing that's amazing is, look what happens whenever you, let's say, rebalance in whatever way that is for you. your relationship with giving and receiving. And I feel like some of you, it is like a spiritual help, that you have spiritual support that you get to tap into. So it could be human, physical, it could be multidimensional. But regardless, you will tune into abundance. I mean, look at this. You will tune into joy and bliss and happiness. She is jumping out of a treasure chest. So earlier, remember the card messages were saying, diving into light, going into the inside, going on this soul journey in Rama. So this is also saying, so like everything that's outside is inside. So, you know, your inner relationship with giving and receiving. What do you give to yourself? Do you have self-care? Do you spend money on yourself? Or do you not feel comfortable investing in yourself, spending money on yourself, buying yourself things? So it's like what is on manifest in the outside comes from the inside. Hey, Melinda. Yeah, that energy, Jeff, thank you for sharing, of waiting for the other shoe to drop is, from my sense and what I know, that's like childhood wounds. And especially if things are good, it's like things are going really good, things are calm, that means something bad is about to happen, because that likely happened in dysfunctional childhood homes. So the good news is the gold is all inside of you. I tell this story, and I tell it often with this card because of this treasure chest. There's I think it's a Buddhist story, or Eckhart Tolle says it. There's a beggar, you know, begging his whole life on a city street, and he sits on top of this box and just begs and begs and begs, and that's his life. And then he dies, and they, you know, take him away, and then they open the box and there's gold and riches inside. So his whole life he was begging for what was right underneath him. So to me, that's kind of like what this card is about too, of like, we have inner riches and inner wealth, and when we tune into that and change our energy with giving and receiving, with abundance, with worthiness, then we will create this beautiful experience, which is confirmed here by the Judgment card. So again, this message of going within, you can see like her soul is coming up and out and celebrating. So I'm going to read this card, the message of the Judgment card. And there's always a affirmation. This is a very powerful card, so I want to make sure and get the message. So the affirmation is, hello essence, I am here to share my voice. Hello essence, I am here to share my voice. So for some of you, it might be, that might be your giving, is sharing your voice and allowing somebody to receive your expression. So that could be creatively or otherwise. So the messages are self-realization and understanding, a spiritual awakening, knowing your motives and your heart to be true, total transparency, soul searching, a reckoning, a glorious unveiling of spirit, and an epiphany. So this is a card of like deep spiritual awakenings and transformations occurring. And so this whole message is about, doing the inner work, doing the shadow work, having the courage to dive into fear and work with those blockages, accepting help and support, and sharing and giving. So the message is, you have known judgment in the past, both as one who judges and who has been judged. And now you're at a place where the only awareness that really matters is that which you bestow upon your own actions. To truly raise your vibration, you must send healing approval to your own heart from a place of deep compassion and integrity. That's really powerful. When you're being completely honest, are you doing your best with others and with yourself? It's time to shed any negative facades you've been holding on to and drop the masks behind the masks. No more faking it. It may feel risky, yet this profound act of self-acceptance will unleash your absolute essence in a brilliant display of authenticity. You are stardust in life. You are light, shadow, matter, consciousness, and you are a miracle. Why then do you keep your true nature hidden away from the world? If you're holding on to any disdain or doubt about your divine nature, there's no way to really understand your full potential until you're open and honest with your own heart. To expand and evolve requires this forgiveness of yourself. Accept your beautiful heart, and as you do, you consciously answer the call of your highest self, and the vastness of your horizon will make itself available to you. Okay. So lots of deep, profound, beautiful messages here. If you came in late, this is all on YouTube, on my channel. You can, replay the messages if you want to hear it again. You can hear that over there. So don't forget to follow me here, there, and everywhere. Check my website. If you want guidance and support on this, there's lots of themes here that coaching with me can help you shift and dive into, get unstuck, and overcome, these things that are holding you back. So send me a message if you feel that heart's call to do so. So we will close with some Reiki and Ancestral Clearing now. And as I said in the beginning, if you did miss it, it is the official Dia de Muertos here. So, lots of ancestral energy. The veil is thin. So I will definitely tune into the ancestral clearing and doing that as well. So we'll go ahead and close our eyes and take some breaths in and out. I'm activating Reiki and Solvana healing energies for healing and transformation. So allow yourself to receive fully this energy healing and clearing. And do your best just to release any self-judgment. And for those who have family, ancestors who have passed on, you can just tune into their energy, their spirit, their essence, if you feel the heart's call to. And know that they're here now supporting, loving, and guiding. Infinite Creator, source of all that is, we love you. Thank you for loving us. We humbly ask you to guide, bless, expand, and lead us into your perfect light, love, and life, and always, completely, now and forever. Please and thank you. For everyone here now, for all of our family, all of our relationships, all of our ancestors, and all of their relationships, through all relevant time, space, and dimension. For all hurts, wrongs, judgments, and burdens, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and financial, through thought, word, or deed. Please help us all forgive each other, forgive ourselves, forgive all people, and all people forgive us completely and totally, please and thank you. Infinite Creator, for the highest good, please lift out all weight, pain, burden, sin, death, debt, negativity, spells, hexes, curses, black magic, white magic, guilt, fear, shame, unworthiness, and limitation of all kind. Transform it into your love and let your love flow back in and through us, filling and giving us all complete peace now and forever. Please and thank you, please and thank you, please and thank you. Please help us love and bless each other, love and bless ourselves, be at peace with each other and at peace with ourselves. Please and thank you, please and thank you, please and thank you. If you'd like, you can come back to a wakeful state. Welcome, Christine. Yes, thank you. So I do this ancestral clearing work here, one-on-one as well. I do card readings as a service, as well as my spiritual life coaching. And I am a Reiki master teacher as well. So if you're feeling stuck around anything that came up today for you and you have not received a gifted session with me before, please reach out. Send me a message here. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, my website. You can find me everywhere. Thank you, Libby, and you're welcome. Awesome. So glad that all the wonderful sounds are surrounding you as well. And glad to be back up on my rooftop for the live. You know, Sunday mornings it's very quiet. Weekdays it's a different energy, and I don't go live at this early, so yeah, this is the best time for the outdoor sessions. So stay tuned. I do this every week around the same time. Follow me if you don't already. Give a donation if you'd like. Thank you, Allie and Libby, for the donations. And again, remembering these messages of giving and receiving and your relationship with abundance that's, you know, within you. And your soul is evolving and expanding. So have a wonderful Dia de Muertos if you celebrate, and I will be. And I have, and had a wonderful Halloween, which is, I guess, sort of, you know, part of it all. Thank you, Melinda, Nancy, you're welcome, everybody. And also, join me Tuesday evening in the U.S. You're welcome, Andrea. Hello there. Yes, it is a wonderful view. You're welcome, Suzanne, Sister Sunshine. So, what are you tolerating is going to be the theme of the next live stream. It's going to be really fun and powerful and enlightening. So make sure you join. Thank you, Allie. Wendy, you're welcome. And also, I will be creating more live streams, so stay tuned. And if there is a topic that you want to see me cover, if it's something I've done in the past or something you just want to see me cover, please send me a message and I will take it into consideration. Thank you, Melinda, for the donation. And I will see you all soon.